Hello friends, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Bookmas. For today's Bookmas, I thought I'd do a kind of like a fun little vlog where I let a scavenger hunt pick out the book that I'm going to read it and give my little review of the book. I really enjoy watching these videos. If you've never seen one of these videos before, essentially I have some prompts that I will be reading, basing on a book to pick another book, and at the end of it we have 6 prompts. At the end of that, the final book picked will be the book that I read for the vlog. I think that made sense what I said. This is quite a popular one. There's a load of different people who do this on YouTube, and I've never done one before and have wanted to for a while but just have never gotten around to it. So I thought for Bookmas I would do one and made 6 prompts that are very loosely, very stretchly Christmas winter inspired. It was quite hard to actually come up with some prompts that I could try and make Christmas related, but I think I've managed. Like I said, some of them are massively stretched and some of them are very slightly forced, but they are kind of all Christmas winter related to kind of fit in with the theme of Bookmas. Now, the book I picked was probably not going to be Christmas related, but that's fine. The prompts are. That's the Bookmas element. And what I think I'm going to do whenever I do these, because I would like to maybe do some next year, is we're going to start, the first book we start with is always going to be my current or latest read. Diabound is the book that I am currently reading, so we are going to base the first prompt on this book to then pick the next book. So yeah, we're starting with Diabound. So 6 prompts. I apologize for my spelling and I apologize for my handwriting, but we're just going to go with it. And I thought this way as well, if I did them like this, I could pick them randomly, so that way then I can't anticipate the prompts that are coming and try and, pick a specific book because I know a specific prompt is coming. So yeah, this is going to be completely random. They are slightly different, the papers, but I wrote them like 4 hours ago, and I don't remember the things that I was doing 10 minutes ago. So we've got 6, so let's go with, we're just going to go for the end one. So prompt number 1 says, it's that time of year for presents. Pick a book gifted to you newer than your current pick. Okay, so funny enough, Diabound was gifted to me from my mum. Not that long ago, actually. This was, I think, the end of October, beginning of November, because this was our book club book. My mum picked it, so she bought this edition for me and my sister so that we could read it. However, I saw my mum at the weekend, and she also gifted me 4 new books. So, my mum's quite into, like, book talk. I'm more into booktube, she's into book talk, but she enables me with my book buying. So, that is not something I'm ever going to complain about. So, these are the 4 books that she recently gave me. The Baby Dragon Bakery, which is a sequel, Mate, which is also a sequel, and then the Strawberry Patch Pancake House and the Gingerbread Bakery. I have read the first book in this book. I haven't read the first book in these sequels, but listen, these are not going to be the books that I end up with. So I think just because it is Christmassy and I know it could work for some of the Christmas prompts, I think the second book we're going to go for is The Gingerbread Bakery by Laura Gilmore. So yeah, this is a romance book that is set in a small town. The first book kind of autumn inspired, so I'm guessing by this name it's going to be Christmassy inspired. But yeah, that works quite nicely. Let's pick out the next prompt that we're going to be using this book for. Kind of want one that is a bit more of a Christmas specific one because it would work nicely for this book. So let's go with this middle one. And the prompt says, go to page 25, line 12, find a book with a word from this line in the title. This is the one that could have worked for literally any book that I picked, but that's fine. Obviously 25 is for the day, 12 is for the month, based on how in the UK we write the calendar. Page 25. Oh, page 25 has a massive text on it, so I'm going to use each line of those as a part of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so 12 is this line here from Logan. What, are you on a date with Mac? Wait. I haven't got my glasses on. You know when you're like, why do I take my glasses off to try and do things when I need to read? Wait. Are you on a date with Mac is technically the 12th line. Now I need to actually have a good scavenger hunt, look at my books and find something that has why are you on a date with Mac? Wait, why do I keep saying why? Do I have date? Date would be quite fun. I think I'm going to go with the first thing I see as well. Oh, okay. On. We're going to go for this one. Let me just check that it definitely said on. Yeah. On. So, book number 3 is The Sky on Fire by Jen Loynes. I believe this is an adult romantasy book, but I've not read it, which is so far the theme, but it's not going to be the one we're going to read because we're going to pick another prompt. So let's look at the cover though. Let's look at the words because these could be relevant to what I remember-ish the prompts are. So, prompt number 3, we'll just go for this middle one. It's calling to me. What does it say? Dun dun dun. Okay, this is the color one. So gold, red or green on the cover. Use the smallest amount to pick a book in mostly that color. This basically, could we say this is goldy? No, probably not. This is basically just kind of red. Red is the predominant color on this book. I actually think we could say gold. That seems goldy, doesn't it? No, it's orange. Okay, red. we're going to go for a mostly read book, which this is a mostly read book anyway, but we're going to be going for another mostly read book. Again, I could be really lazy what we've got going on. I mean, I've got loads of read books that are jumping out at me in my eyesight here. I'm being lazy and sitting down for this. I could have stood up and filmed it, but I didn't want to. So sorry about that. Oh, okay. Probably not, definitely not going to be the book, so I don't mind picking it, but Binding 13 has a lot of red on it. Actually, Anxious People is even more read by Frederick Bachman. So I think I'm going to pick this. This is an adult contemporary general fiction story. It has a Netflix series, which I literally have heard no one ever talk about. So let me know if you've watched the Netflix series, if you think it's good. I've not read the book though. This is a theme, but this is going to be the next book. So again, let's look at the cover. I can't remember now what the prompts are. I think they are cover related. Let's just go for this end one and see what we got. What did we get? Use all the words on the cover to make a Christmas word and find that word on another cover. Again, it doesn't have to be the exact word. It could be just made up of letters. So what do we have for Anxious People? We don't have any S's, so we can't do Santa. We can't do snow. We can't do gift. There's no G. There is a G in Matt Haig at the bottom. I could do gift. There's no L. I think I'm going to do Noel. There's no L in Anxious People. Noel. So I need to find a book that also has an Noel in the title, on the page, in some way, on the cover, to pick from my reads. I still have 2 left, so let's just try and go for one directly around here so we don't have to move. What about Impossible Creature? Yep, let's pick Impossible Creatures. This is by Catherine Rundell. This is a fantasy middle grade, and it's one that I've heard a lot of hype about, and I really need to get into reading, because would you be surprised to know that I've not read this book either? I don't know if when people do this, they purposely pick books they have read, but I think I knew that all the prompts were like more about the physical appearance to relate in some way to winter. It didn't really matter if I hadn't read the books. But yeah, so we have Noel. Noel. Yeah, it's there. So this is the cover. I can't actually remember now what these two are going to be based on. We'll go for the blank one. Let's see what this one says. It says, Winter Solstice, I've probably butchered the spelling of solstice, is coming. Pick a book within 21 pages of your current read. Winter Solstice is on the 21st of December. So this book has, which is actually quite nice because this is a relatively short book, although the next one is not going to be the book that we pick. We've got one more book after this. So after our next pick, there's a bestiary at the back, which is quite cool. So this book has 325 pages. So we need to pick something in the early 300s, mid 300s range. Again, what about this one? The Bromance Book Club. How many pages is this? 339. Should we just go for the first one? I think the prompt... Yeah, I can't quite remember now what I said for the last prompt, so I'm just trying to think if this is going to work. I think it will work. So this is going to be the pick as it is within 21 pages. Yeah, I think I can make this last one work. Why can't I remember what I made for the last prompt? This is going to be the one to pick the book. Being naughty or nice. Pick a book with an, again, opposite is spelled horrendous. I'm so sorry if you haven't to subject you to my spelling. Pick a book that is an opposite to your current pick. So it could be opposite genre, opposite age range, opposite format. So for instance, I go for a hardback. I could try and hit all of them. So this, I believe, because again, I have not read it. This is an adult contemporary romance. I believe it's quite lighthearted. I believe it's quite fun. And I believe it's quite cute. So I maybe want to go for a middle grade, a fantasy. I think I'm going to go for a middle grade fantasy. This is my kind of middle grade section that I haven't read. Ooh, could go for In the Shadow of the Wolf Queen. This is a relatively newish one to me. I bought it this year. They are similar cover-wise. I could even go for a different cover, actually. I mean, as in by similar, there's green in the background. So I could look at maybe a different cover that's also a middle grade fantasy. Ooh, I could pick The Belgariad by David Ennins. This is a classic kind of middle grade fantasy, so I think it's quite old. And by that, I mean, let's not lie. Let's see how old we think. Oh, 82. And I imagine this is in this decade. Yeah, 2009. So that's a good chunk of time difference. So that could be an option. I could read The Wild Robot. Again, a middle grade. I'm trying to think though. Do we think it looks... I mean, it's smaller as well. So that's different. Not quite opposite, but it's different. It has a kind of different art style. They're both series though. So it'd be quite nice maybe to pick a standalone. Do I own any standalones? I mean, The Witches by Roald Dahl would be completely random. I have definitely read this before, but so long ago as a child that I've kind of put it on my unread section. Alternatively, I could go for maybe a fantasy. I think the protagonists in this are men because it's a group of guys that come together to make a book club, I think, to find out what their girlfriend's like. So I could go for a darker YA fantasy with about women that has female protagonists. Red Queen would be quite fun. It's very different, as in this is a bit more of a realistic cover. It's a bit more plain. It's white, it's a different age range, it's a different fantasy, it's a dystopian. It's older than this one as well, which that's not really relevant, but I think this one actually could be quite good. What do I want to read is now the issue. Now Conjurers could be interesting. I don't know if it's a middle grade or a YA, but there's like a group of people on the cover and you can see their faces, which is the opposite to this one where you can just see his booty. So like that could be quite fun. I think this is about a group of friends where one of them dies. That's it. One of them dies and then I don't know if something else happens. Where is this set? Does this say this is in Nashville? This one is Massachusetts. I don't know why I said this like I would have any idea if those were opposites to each other at all. I could do an English book then if this is set in America. Something set maybe in England, although most fantasy books are set in like made up worlds. Could go with Let's Split Up. This is a middle YA thriller horror book. I have started reading it before. It is set in America, but it's by an English author. And like it's very minimalism, very like, you know, very different covers. There's no like background picture, there's no people, it's a different age range, very different color scheme. Right, the biggest question is now basically, what do I want to read? These are the ones that I have picked out as an options for what do I think is like compared to, say this is the nice, this is the nice, these are the naughty. It's more just for the opposite fact, not anything being different wise in the book. I think a middle grade. You know, I think I'm feeling, let me read about them quickly. I think I'm really actually drawn to In the Shadow of the Wolf Queen. Like I mentioned, this is a middle grade and it does differ a bit from The Wild Robot. The Wild Robot has, I think, more of a similar theme to the Bromance Book Club. This is about a robot that is kind of trying to find her purpose. The Bromance Book Club is about a guy trying to reconnect with his wife. So I think they're both basically about like relationships and like building those bonds. This one is about a young girl whose sister vanishes. So after a mysterious earthquake, she sets on a rescue mission. So there's going to be like traveling involved. It's going to be going outside. There's fantasy. She has a seahawk. That her and embark on an epic quest to save her sister. So there's like a quest. So I think that's quite different. So I think this is going to be the book that I am going to read for this vlog. This is the book we've picked out. Should we go through the journey? Where did we go through the journey? This is our starting line. This is where we've ended up. Let's read In the Shadow of the Wolf Queen. This is by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. That's a bit of a mouthful. I'll let you guys know what I think. So it ended up taking me quite a while to really kind of get into this book. I filmed the initial clip for this video at the end of November, just before I went away, so it was all prepped, ready for December, and my intention was to read it within the first couple of weeks, alongside some other books. And I really haven't read much throughout December. I've kind of slumped hard a little bit when it comes to reading, which is a shame because I had a lot of plans to read a lot of Christmas books. But I think it's kind of a result of posting a video or a short every day. And then for the last 9 days, I've worked consecutively 9 days in a row leading up to Christmas. I work in a supermarket, so it's been very busy. There's been a lot going on. And then I've like come home from work and made sure I've still gotten a video or a short done. My reading has definitely fallen a bit to the wayside. So it is the 23rd and I have literally just finished the book now. And then I need to edit and get this video up. So let's talk about the book. In the Shadow of the Wolf Queen is a fantasy middle grade, as I mentioned. We follow our main character, Isildur. At the beginning of the book, she lives in a very small kind of remote forest. They have a lot of connections to the trees and that's kind of like a big part of their upbringing, of their life. Her sister is someone called a Gifted who can communicate with trees. She can hear what they're feeling, thinking. If they're in pain, when they're sick, she can really help them. And because of this magic power, her sister ends up getting targeted with this group of people called the Riders who work for the Wolf Queen, who is basically going around and collecting up a load of these Gifted that have different powers from all sorts, because she is determined to find something called the Anchorite, who is this kind of mythical girl who is the person that kind of created life in a sense. Isildur's sister Hari ends up getting kidnapped. Isildur decides that she is not going to let this happen. She needs to find her, ends up traveling and ends up kind of making a deal with this Wolf Queen, convincing her that she knows where this Anchorite is kept and she can take her there, and in exchange her sister can be freed. And that's kind of how the story goes. She ends up going on this bit of a journey. There is different elements of not quite magic as like the bit, it's like these kind of gifted elements. And yeah, kind of story plays out from there. This is the first in a trilogy. And so this is not, it doesn't get wrapped up in this story. And it is only short, it's only about 280 pages. But I actually really enjoyed this. I really liked the kind of emphasis on the kind of like magic with the trees and nature in this. I keep saying Isildur, that's her, not her name at all. That's someone from Lord of the Rings. Isolde, her people, like I said, can have a big connection with trees. And she also has a Seahawk that she has this connection with. And there is like elements of nature in it throughout as well. And it's kind of like a weird setting. It's all very obviously set in England. They have a map at the beginning that is just the United Kingdom. And so like Hari is from this area and they are traveling around, and a lot of the people that are in it are clearly from different times throughout England's history. There are a group of people that I listened to a bit of this on audiobook as well, and they were using Scottish accents. And the Wolf Queen, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but she's someone that has come from another land and has basically like collected realms as she's gone, is how it's been described. And I believe the author was, the narrator was using a bit of an Indian accent for her, so I don't know if she is Indian. Her name in this is Serena, but she apparently has changed her name throughout, and she has this wolf pack, and all of them have like Indian names like Taj and Ravi. So I feel like it has, again, this different like mix of nationalities that are embedded in this world, which I quite liked, because it again has this fantasy twist. There are slight bits of this world that I don't think are quite very well fleshed out, in that our main character knows the terms of a lot of things that she has no cause to. For instance, like when she first sees a map, she knows that it's called a map, but she's never seen a map before. And again, when she first sees a key, she refers to it as a key, but then she mentions, oh, I've never seen one before, because they have no need for keys where she lives. Which in my head then it's like, well, how would you even know what it is then if you and your people have no use of it? That's just like a small thing, but it is a middle grade book, so like it's not going to be like 100% like, I guess, thought out in that way that this character should have no knowledge of that, especially because like, especially the key thing, it's like it's just to open a door. It's like it's not a plot point. It doesn't play a part in the story. There were elements of that, but yeah, I really liked our main character actually. I really liked her motivations. She doesn't really seem to have any powers. She did get a bit of a prophecy in this, and I'm guessing as the trilogy goes on, she's going to maybe grow into a power of some kind, but she is herself not powerful. Her sister is gifted. She doesn't have a gift. She has an ability to lie and convince people with her lies that what she is saying is true and how that can benefit them. Seeing that play out is quite interesting. I like that way that's played out. It has had mentions of other people with powers, but no one's really done anything with them yet, which I was kind of waiting for. There is a kid in this called Sammy that she meets along the way who has also been taken by this Wolf Queen, and I believe he said his power was controlling the weather or summoning bad weather, and he's not done anything with that yet so far, which I'm hoping that as the story goes on that he might, because like that would be interesting to actually see these other gifted people use their powers in some way, because it's been very light on that at the moment. I'm interested to see where this goes. I will be carrying on with the series. I do have the second one. I picked these up from the works, so pretty cheap, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I actually will be carrying on with this series, so I did quite enjoy it. And if you have not read this and you're into middle grade fantasy, I would really recommend this. I thought it was like an easy one to understand. It was pretty nice. It is a journey. If you do not like travel or like adventure ones that are like include a lot of traveling that's not staying in the same place, I wouldn't recommend it, because that is basically what the whole story is. But yeah, I did quite enjoy it and think it was a good read. So I am happy with my pick for this one. It's not one I think I would have gotten to anytime soon, so that's also really nice. But yeah, this was the read. That was my first successful, it took a while, but it was my first successful scavenger hunt. I look forward to doing more in 2026. And with that though, that brings the full-length videos to an end for Bookmas. This is Bookmas Day 12. I have one more advent which will go up tomorrow. I need to now sit and edit this video. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you've watched half of a video, if you've watched a second of a video, if you've watched every single video, I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun doing these over the last 24 days. It has been a lot challenging. I had a few pre-filmed, and once I ran out of pre-filmed ones, it kind of caught up on me quite a bit, especially with doing overtime and working for a bit longer. But I did really enjoy myself, and I think it was a really nice push. I will be getting into, from January, posting once a week. I'm going to set myself that schedule. I'm not quite decided on the date yet, but that is definitely something that's going to be happening next year. And I've proved to myself in this month that I absolutely can do one video a week. But yeah, thank you so much for anyone that watched in. I really appreciate it. If you've gotten this far, leave me the little wolf emoji for the Wolf Queen. I really like the wolves in this as well. They're bigger than regular wolves. They're called sea wolves, which I don't actually know are a real thing. I'm assuming not, but and they ride them in this, which is really fun. If you see this video before Christmas, Merry Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful time if you celebrate. If not, just have a wonderful end of the year, and I will see you in full length content back in 2026. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye guys.